Hey everybody, it's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast, and I want to talk about the coming years. Winter is coming, perhaps. I don't know how long it's going to last, and nobody really does. But if you've looked at the stock market, it's been doing a lot of this, going down. This is just today, actually. Bitcoin prices have been tanking for actually weeks now, but today was particularly bad. And I could go on and on over the list, but what it comes down to, what we're here to talk about, is comic books. Now, I remember the last major recession in 2008, 2009, 2010. I remember particularly that 2009. Wait, was it 2010? It was either 2009. I think it was 2010. That was a very hard year for me personally. It was very difficult to get work. Um, I don't have a college degree at the time. I wasn't finished with college, and it was just tough for a lot of reasons. I remember it well. Comic books at the time were selling $419 million in 2010, which was, I mean, it dropped as low as, let's see, 2011. It went to 414 million for comics sold through Diamond. That's what I'm focused on here. Okay, so now this could change, right? If we go over here and we look at the 690 million in 2011, 690 million that were sold in 2011 at the bottom of comic book sales at the time, then you want to compare that to today. So let's scroll up here. And this is the soonest estimation they have, which is 1.28 billion. Why is that? Well, that's because they're including manga sales, they're including a variety of digital sales, and yes, they are even including crowdfunded comic books. But if you compare that to the Diamond sales, it's 160 million, which, let me remind you, 419 million versus 160 million. That's a massive change in the market. So at the end of the day, are you worried about the comic book industry? What I care about is there still a market for comic books? I don't really care what's sold through Diamond. I don't really care about anything else other than comic books that I like, that I want to purchase, and comic books, obviously, that I'm making, because that's important to me. Now, hold on for 1 minute. If you haven't backed Clint Stoker's Dracula yet, now is a great time to do it. We've already passed $16,000, over 300 backers. I really appreciate everyone that has backed this campaign. I cannot tell you how heartwarming it is to know that there are over 300 people that are willing to support me and help me to continue making comic books. So I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you haven't backed yet, it's still not too late. We have 21 days left in the campaign. I saw people on Twitter saying Clint Stoker's Dracula is in demand. No, the campaign hasn't closed yet. It's still going. So yeah, jump in if you haven't backed yet. Please do. Links in the description below. But I'm going to leave the page here for a minute because this is what it comes down to. There's a saying that comics will break your heart. It's attributed to Jack Kirby. I don't know if he really said that or not, but it's definitely something that's gone around in comic book culture. And the reason it could break your heart is probably a number of things. But I'll tell you what, it has to be financially viable in order for it to be sustainable and something that you're going to continue doing, right? I believe that no matter what the stock market does, no matter what people's finances are in the future, or people's spending money that's allocated directly toward comic books, I believe if you have the right mix, if you're treating your backers, your readers with respect and bringing them the kind of content that they want, that you're going to see success as long as you have captured an audience of people. Now, I'm not sure how long it is that I'll be able to continue making comic books. I really, really, really want to be able to finish my Downcast series. I want to be able to tell a story that I have there. I really want to be able to continue telling stories because I have so many that I'd like to tell. And the way to look at this is not to look at the glaring issues with the stock market and the coming recession that surely is going to come, I think the way to look at it is, hey, like the comic book industry has really never been like this big lucrative career path. So there's got to be some other reason why you're pursuing it. So pursue it for those reasons. If it doesn't financially make sense, that's perfectly fine. I mean, that happens. But I really don't think that any of these kinds of numbers should matter in the like in your decision to make a comics or enjoy comics. None of this should matter. So I would say leave me out of it, and including with these Comic-Con sales. When it comes to comic books sold through Diamond, I'm not included in those sales whatsoever. Not even through Alterna issues, because Alterna's not even selling through Diamond anymore. And so, I mean, it's ever since before I even started getting comics published through Alterna, we never were going through Diamond. And so, does it matter? It might, but I think as far as your best laid plans go, it really shouldn't. It doesn't matter. If you're looking at rising stocks and if you're looking at a lucrative future in some kind of business venture, I mean, you'd be smarter to just look almost anywhere else but comic books. I want comic books to work money-wise. I want it to work. I'm not even talking about quitting my full-time job or anything like that. I just want it to make sense for the future. At the same time, I mean, that's no reason, like looking into recession is no reason to decide what comic books I should and shouldn't be making. I still want to be making the best comic books I can. I want to be making stuff that has as mass appeal as I can achieve. And that's really all there is to worry about. Don't worry about the rest. Don't sweat it. Just leave me out of it. Anyway, thanks for listening. I want to know what you have to say about comic books. Are you expecting to tighten your belt? I mean, right now it feels like it's a little bit too early to even tell, like if any of this is really going to affect me personally. But it's going around. People are talking about it. And so I don't know. I'm just curious. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow in another video.